The question is, should donor conception and surrogacy be banned? Why don't I just start by explaining what it is? And if you want to just acknowledge that you don't know a whole lot about it at the start, that's totally fine. Because
I don't know anything.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't expect people to know much about really any of these topics. But so donor conception would be if I wanted to have a child and I can't convince someone to have my child, I instead use a donor egg, right? So a woman donates her egg, I fertilize it with my sperm, and then I could have a surrogate gestate the child for 9 months in her womb, and then once the child's born, I take the child from her.
Okay.
So like donor conception would be donating, quote unquote, donating eggs and sperm. I would put quotes around donating because money is involved as far as paying people for their time, but whether or not they're being compensated for their time or their sperm or eggs, I think is like somewhat murky or blurry.
So basically you're having somebody else carry your child.
That'd be surrogacy. So donor conception would be you have donor eggs, donor sperm, fertilize them in like a plastic dish, and then take that embryo, implant it in a surrogate who then gestates the child for 9 months, so like lets it develop in her womb, even though she's not genetically related to the child. And then after 9 months is up, she gives up the child and it's taken away by two total strangers.
Oh, well, dang.
And so the reason I think this is a really interesting topic is because if we take a break from like the surrogacy donor conception thing and just consider basically a completely separate example, I think I can illustrate why it really needs to be banned. So imagine that two gay men or two gay women, or even a heterosexual man and a heterosexual woman, it doesn't matter really, but we'll just in this case use two gay men. Imagine two gay men use donor sperm and donor egg to create a child, and then, or I'm sorry, I was going to use an example that wasn't related to donor conception. Imagine that a married heterosexual couple gets pregnant, and then at 8 months gestation, they sell the child for 150 grand. To a gay couple. That right now is illegal.
So they're basically selling this
Yeah, because it's human trafficking.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that?
It's human trafficking, so that's illegal. And from the child's perspective...
Oh, that's so... What?
I know, it's crazy. That is crazy. But from the child's perspective, right, that child's losing access to its genetic parents because it's being sold at 8 months gestation. It's losing access to its birth mother, who's the only mother it's known for the first 9 months of its life, and that's being taken away by two strangers. So to protect children's rights, we say that should be a crime. That's wrong. It's human trafficking.
And that baby's too young to even have us.
Yeah, and then in the case of donor conception and surrogacy, from the child's perspective, it's the same thing. Because from the child's perspective, once it's born, it will never know its genetic mother and genetic father. It loses access to its birth mother, who's the only woman it's known for the first 9 months of its life, and it's taken away by two strangers.
I was going to say, do they even get to like keep access and still like...
Most of the time, it's preferred that they won't ever know their genetic parents.
Oh, like to keep it anonymous? Like
to keep it anonymous.
So the parents are like, no, I don't want this kid to know
Typically,
who I am.
sometimes the social mother and social father, or the two social dads, which when I say social mother and social father, that'd be the person raising the child after birth.
Right.
They often will prefer that the child never know its genetic mother and genetic father because they don't want the child like trying to reach out to them.
I could see that.
And so from the child's perspective, the case of like human trafficking where the kid is sold for 150 grand, and the case of donor conception and surrogacy, it looks the same from the kid's perspective.
So essentially it's like, hey, I'm going to have this kid, and I'm going to sell this kid for money.
It's in the human trafficking case, yes. In the donor conception case, from the child's perspective, it looks the same. From the adult's perspective, it looks a little bit different. From the adult's perspective, it's like I'm going to create a child and intentionally deprive them of at least one of their genetic parents in the case of donor conception. And I'm going to then separate the child from the only mother it's known for the first 9 months of its life in the case of surrogacy. And so I just think we should prioritize children's rights and interests over the desires of adults. And I think if we do that, we have to ban donor conception and surrogacy. Because from the child's perspective, it looks identical to human trafficking.
I think I agree. That's actually seriously messed up.
Yeah.
Are there any other topics, or is that...
You can throw some out there. We can do some that aren't on the board if I want to do them.
Oh, sweet.